Good morning, everyone. I'm Councillor David Shaw, Chair of Licensing Subcommittee today, and I welcome you all to today's Licensing Subcommittee meeting. Before we commence, I would like to outline the domestic arrangements for the meeting. We're not expecting a fire practice today. Is that still the case? Yep. If the alarm sounds, please leave the building by way of the fire exit through the doors at the rear of the chamber on my right. When you have left the chamber, proceed down the stairway and exit through the emergency exit on the ground floor. The assembly point is in the public square in front of Casby on the fountain. Please ensure that your mobile phones are switched to silent or are switched off. Thank you. Moving on to item 2, apologies for absence. Do we have any apologies? No apologies, thank you. Item 3, declarations of interest. Any declarations of interest? No, no declarations of interest. Item 4, minutes of the meeting held on the 20th of March, 4th of May 2024. Can the minutes be moved as a true and accurate record? Anybody to second? I'll second. Yep, we've got that moved and seconded. That's all agreed, is it, by everyone? Yeah. Thank you. Item 5, the application. Application for a variation of existing premises licence, Pizza King Express, House 31B, Violet Avenue, Edlington. We are here today to discuss an application for a variation of an existing premise licence at Pizza King Express House. All parties who have indicated that they wish to address the subcommittee will be given the opportunity to speak. The procedure we will be following is as set out in the report. Has everyone had a copy of the report? Yeah, thank you. Can I now invite Senior Licensing Practitioner to introduce the item? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. This hearing is to determine an application to vary an existing premises licence in respect of 31B Violet Avenue, Edlington, Doncaster, DN12 1NP. The premises concerned is currently a takeaway. The application is for the addition of off-sales and to replace the existing conditions attached to the premises licence with new enforceable conditions. I can confirm that the application has been correctly advertised and that the mandatory consultation has taken place. During the consultation period, 2 representations were received. These are shown as Appendix F. Having reviewed the representations, it is noticed that some of the content does not meet the threshold of being relevant. However, in accordance with the guidance, in borderline cases, the benefit of the doubt about any aspect of a representation should be given to the person making that representation. The subsequent hearing would then provide an opportunity for the person or body making the representation to amplify and clarify it. I can confirm that all required notices of the hearing have been given and all parties have been made aware of the procedure to be followed at the hearing, both in the notes that accompany the notice of hearing and in the hearing papers. The options available to the committee when making its determination are detailed in the report. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I will now ask the applicant or the representative to address this subcommittee. Whoever is speaking, please identify yourself when speaking. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Stephen Butler and I represent the applicant, Mr. Earr. In respect to the variation of the premises licence at 31B Violet Avenue, Edlington, Doncaster, the current premises licence allows for the provision of late night refreshment until midnight each day. The variation is to additionally allow for the sale of alcohol. There was no extension to the hours sought. My client started running the takeaway in July 2020. Since this time, he has developed the business into a successful business, offering the community a well sought after food option. The applicant employs 2 kitchen staff and 4 drivers, providing income to local people in a cost of living crisis. This application has, as you have heard, been correctly advertised and the statutory notice has been displayed for 28 days. None of the statutory bodies have made any representations regarding the application. It will be argued that these are the experts and surely they would have contacted the applicant or indeed submitted representations should they have any concerns. In relation to the representations made by 2 members of the community, Satminder Dio, who owns a convenience store adjacent to the applicant, states that they are a business owner and representative of the community. I'm unsure what is meant by they represent the community, as this isn't followed up. Having read the objections, they would border upon a vexatious representation, as they are clearly concerned of the business impact of a competitor. The representation covers the increase of noise and disturbance, the risk of crime and disorder, Some incidents are quoted, but these are disputed by the applicant, who states the police have not attended at his premises. The comment of impact on local businesses is, as I've mentioned, vexatious. The potential for underage drinking is quoted. This is always a risk when alcohol is sold, but the applicant is a personal licence holder. A strict Challenge 25 policy is in place with the appropriate refusal registers. The parking congestion is mentioned, and the objector states it is not a problem now. It is difficult to envisage why this would be a concern, as the premises have been in existence for some time with no issues. The second representation is from Mrs. Alison Smith. Mrs. Smith lives on Roberts Road, some distance away from the premises, but interestingly, I'm told she's employed by Satmander Dio, and I would urge the committee to bear this in mind. Mrs. Smith makes mention of elderly people in the flats nearby. None of these residents have raised any objections, and some of these are in fact regular good customers of the applicant. Mrs. Smith states, we have never really had a massive problem in relation to antisocial behaviour. I would submit that this will remain and no problems will be present with a well-managed establishment. The representations have no evidential basis and are presumptuous at best. Section 4.29 of your licensing policy states the Council recognises that it is necessary to balance the rights of local residents, businesses and others with those wishing to provide licensable activities and those who wish to use such facilities. In support of this, I have submitted prior to this hearing a signed petition from over 50 customers. I've also got the till receipts here in respect of the signatures, should the committee wish to verify those. If I can clarify one condition offered on page 31 of the bundle, and in relation to the prevention of public nuisance, this should read, deliveries to the premises of stock and waste removal will not take place after 8 p.m. each evening to reduce noise issues. This does obviously not relate to off sales, just something I noticed in the bundle. Having regard to section 4.25 again of your licence policy, if relevant representations are made, the Council will consider whether it is necessary to impose conditions to regulate behaviour on the premises and access to them where this relates to licensable activities and the licensing objectives. To assist, the applicant would offer the following additional conditions. Signs will be displayed to remind customers to leave quietly and act in an orderly manner. Customers will be discouraged from congregating outside the premises. No singular alcoholic drinks, including beer, lager, cider, in cans will be sold. No beers, lager or cider of 6.5% ABV and above to be sold at these premises. And all people involved in the delivery of alcohol shall at the point of delivery be satisfied that the person to whom the alcohol is being delivered is 18 years and over by using the Challenge 25 scheme. If challenged, the photographic age verification documents cannot be produced, the delivery shall be refused and the alcohol returned to the licensed premises. Thank you for your time, and we're happy to answer any questions that the committee may have.
Thank you very much. Over to the committee. Does the committee have any questions to ask?
Yes, good morning. I just wondered on page 26, it said, will the provision of late night refreshments take place indoors or outdoors or both? And the both box has been ticked. And it suggests it takes place in the building or other structure as appropriate. Indoors may include a tent. So am I to take it the piece of so-called pavement in front of your business, are you going to propose putting a tent structure on that and selling alcohol basically to the pavement beyond? Or is it, why have you asked for both, indoors or outdoors? Or do you do outside catering? I don't know, it's a bit confusing. Okay.
Yeah, if I can answer that, if Mr. Earl wants to come in, but the offset is to allow the off-sales and deliveries of alcohol and late-night refreshment. That's what, when it refers to indoors, outdoors and both, is to allow the off-sales. There's no intention to do what you said there, have a tent or a table situation outside.
Thank you, that clarifies that one, and that's just wondered.
Anything from anyone else? Councillor Pearson?
Yeah. You mentioned about the Challenge 25 and what have you, and the comments, as my colleague just mentioned, about the on and off sales. I too was confused about that situation. So just so I've got it clear in my mind, there is no intention for the shop to have any off sale outside the building. It's only related to orders that come with a meal? Or are you saying that somebody can order bottles of spirits and they will deliver them unfettered by requiring to have a pizza? Thank you.
Yeah, we've not sought any. There won't be anything outside. Just to clarify, there won't be any. If the committee wanted to condition that, there wouldn't be any tables and chairs set up outside. That's not the intention. But there is an ability to deliver alcohol without food. There is within the licence if it was granted in its current state. But I don't think Mr. Earl is looking at spirits. I think it's wines and beers. So if somebody wanted to deliver wines and beers, he'd be looking to deliver that and make use of that as a business opportunity, not just restricted to food.
Okay. Yeah, carry on.
Yes, that's correct. I mean, we tried to mimic the one-can ban situation that's in the town centre where they don't allow beers, wines over 6.5%. The strong, predominantly Eastern European beers. He doesn't want to sell them. Just wants to send normal stock lagers. Yes, you're correct. The wines will be over 6.4%. So that will be it. But there won't be any spirits for sale.
Thank you.
Okay. Yourself? Yeah.
Can I just ask, have you got a seating inside the shop at the moment? Is there provision for customers to actually sit? Are they going to be able to sit down and have a drink while they're waiting for a pizza or anything like that?
This for off sales only for alcohol. There's no provision for drinking alcohol. Somebody could come in and eat something inside the premises, but they won't be drinking inside the premises, just for off sales.
So if they would be challenged, if somebody came in and opened a drink while they was waiting for the pizza to be cooked, would they be challenged and asked to not drink? Or
Yeah, he's not licensed for that, so that would be against the law, yes.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to make sure that, yeah.
Okay, if everybody else is done, I've got a few things I'd like to ask. Just for just to return back to page 26, just to clarify a couple of things. It would appear, as the application is, that and I know currently the business is open while 12, but it looks, according to page 26, that you're looking for a variation from 2300 hours to midnight. For some reason, I don't really quite understand what the submission of that page is for, because it doesn't seem relevant. But can you? So that's one part of it. But the second thing is that just in terms of sort of technically, you are asking for the provision of late night refreshment to take place indoors or outdoors or both. So I guess just to double check with our legal officer, that does cover off. That does not allow in any wriggle room at all for consumption on the premises, does it? Just for clarity. No, that's okay. I thought not, but I just wanted to just be sure. So if you could just tell me why that piece of paper has been submitted that makes it look like you're looking for an extension from 2300 hours to midnight. Oh, it's page...
That's what they've already got currently.
No, and that's why I'm asking why it's included. I just want. I think I know where I am with it. We think we know where we are with it, but just for clarity, I'd just like to know: is it a mistake? If it's a mistake, it's.
Why is it in when you've already got
Yes,
it?
yeah, basically, yeah. What is the meaning of it, Mr. Butler?
It's a good question. I don't know. No. But there is no wriggle room. There will be no sale of alcohol on the premises. Just for food for deliveries till midnight, as he's already got, and it's just the additional alcohol.
Yeah, I just wanted clarity on it, that we weren't missing something that we needed to be aware of. So just sort of moving on, and the other thing that I just wanted to know was, so would it be possible for someone to ring up at 1 minute to 12, for example, and order, you know, an amount of alcohol, and then that be delivered at 20 past or 12:30? So is there any intention of cut-off? Because, so the selling of alcohol, obviously, I suppose is covered by the point at which it's purchased, but also partly by consumption as well, isn't it? So if the delivery takes place at 20 past 12, then there's some debate as whether that's outside of the regulation and what's allowed. Would it be considered appropriate for off-site deliveries to have a cut-off point before 12 o'clock? I'm just thinking of there's considerable potential for extension of when the alcohol is delivered beyond what the licensed hours are.
I think, to be fair, consumption of alcohol is not licensable activity anyway, and that wouldn't fall part of this. The sale of alcohol would be up till 12 o'clock. So I suppose if he could take a call at 1 minute to 12, and he could deliver that quite lawfully afterwards, as far as I'm aware. But he wouldn't go in throughout the night. If you're suggesting they would ring up before 12 o'clock and ask for delivery at 3 o'clock in the morning, that's not going to happen. But he's going to offer the sale of alcohol up till midnight. The consumption of the alcohol, like I say, would not be licensable activity. And I suppose it would be similar to an Amazon stockist selling a bottle of whiskey and posting it. It's delivered at 3 o'clock in the morning, wherever it is. That where they consume is immaterial, I suppose. But to answer the question, he doesn't want to go all night. He wants to take the sale of alcohol up till midnight. And yes, that might incur 20 past midnight, I would imagine, for the area. He doesn't deliver much later than that.
Basically, we just shut him before 15 minutes ago each day. Like, we wouldn't serve him, like, for example, after 11:45, we don't take any more deliveries. Like.
Okay, right. That's fine. I just kind of wanted to get a feel for where you were at with that. Okay.
Sorry, Chair.
Oh, sorry, Councillor.
You want to?
Thank you. Just to follow on from that very question, can I just confirm then that everything, the payment is not at the point of delivery? All orders are paid for at the point of order? Because obviously some places you don't pay till the delivery is actually made for your food and what have you. So you can order up till midnight, but you actually pay for it after. So in these circumstances, are you guaranteeing that everybody will have to pay by card and all payments will be taken at the time of the receipt of the telephone call? Thank you.
I think, from my understanding, that might be a point of law, but I would imagine the point of sale would take place before 12 o'clock. If it was a cash sale, that would have to be done before 12 o'clock. He wouldn't want to deliver it at 20 past 12. I would imagine that would be an unauthorised sale of alcohol. So, yeah, to answer your point, you're right. Card sales, I think, wouldn't matter, although Mr. Earth said he closed at 11:45 anyway. But cash sales would have to be within licensing hours.
I was just going to ask about the training for your staff. Who's actually going to deliver the training and how often, please?
I'm doing that this afternoon. Should the licence be granted without being presumptuous, he has 4 delivery drivers and 2 kitchen staff, and I'm going out to deliver the Challenge 25 training. I do deliver personal licensing training, so I'm authorised by Highfield to deliver the training, but I will ensure the staff are fully trained before any sale of alcohol takes place.
So, at the risk of labouring a point, but I will. Are we saying that all alcohol sales for delivery will need to be paid for on card paid for prior to a delivery being sent to ensure that no breach of the law takes place by a payment being taken after midnight. Is that what we're saying in terms of because I'm thinking maybe we need to condition that's what it should be, but obviously I want to talk it through to see.
Well, it's just being compliant with the law.
Well, it is, but
It's like saying having a condition that you won't sell alcohol to 12-year-olds. As an analogy.
Okay, well, I see it as a condition that that we can ensure there's a fail-safe there, that if the agreement is that alcohol sales will only be taken if paid for prior to delivery.
It's a matter for the applicant
You see where I'm coming from, Mr. Butler? Yeah.
I agree in principle, but I think the issue would be some people pay by cash. So 8 o'clock at night, if somebody wants to take a delivery of alcohol and they want to pay by cash, I can't see that being a problem. I totally accept what you're saying, and there won't be any sales after 12 o'clock. I don't know how. I wouldn't want to accept a condition or that would prevent any cash sales taking place. Do you understand what I'm saying? 8 o'clock at night. But I totally get what you're saying. Towards the midnight hour, if you wanted to condition it, I think that the no sales would take place after 11:45 for deliveries. I don't think the applicant would have any issue with that. He's always said he would close, so that might be a condition if you're thinking about it.
Okay, well, I think that's a reasonable offer for us to consider, and it does alleviate, I think, some of the sort of slight concerns there. Okay, if we're all done for questions, I'll move on. I will now ask any interested parties or objection to the application if they wish to ask any questions in relation to the applicant's submission. Do we have anybody? Would appear not. I will now ask the subcommittee members if they wish to ask any questions. No, sorry, moving on. I'll just skip over it. I'll just jump over a couple of bits. Skipping over that section there because we have no objectors. All parties have now had the opportunity to address the subcommittee and summarise their submission. So, as the applicant, if you would like to summarise your submission, now is your opportunity.
Thank you. This hearing has occurred as two people from the same venue who are in direct business competition have made an objection with no evidential basis. It can't be clearer than that. Paragraph 5.6 of your licensing policy states, when determining any application where relevant representations are made, the Council will consider it in the light of the 4 licensing objectives and in order to support a number of other key aims and purposes as set out in this policy. The requirement to promote the licensing objectives will be the paramount consideration. The Council will focus upon the impact of the activities taking place on members of the public living, working or engaged in normal activity near the premises. I would respectfully suggest the applicant has met that level. I would ask that you grant this licence as the licensing objectives will be fully complied with and the applicant is fully aware of his responsibilities. He actually lives nearby within half a mile of the premises and has a vested interest in the area. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for your submission there. So we've now heard from all parties. The subcommittee will now move into private session to deliberate. So if those who are not on the committee would like to leave the room, and once we've made it, I'm being interrupted, so I'm obviously doing something wrong.
No, it's not. I'm really sorry. I didn't get the I was just
about to say, do you want me to either message them or do you want the copy of them?
Yeah.
If you've got a copy, that would be great.
Well, that's unusual. It's normally me that's done something wrong when there's an interruption from Marie-Claire. Below the belt, that, councillor. I do.
If you want to electronically, I've got them though. You say you type them all out.
Oh, yeah, if you don't mind. Well, could you email
I'll sort
them
it
to
to-
licensing?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Lovely. So if you could all vacate the room, that'd be great, and we'll call you back in when we've made a decision. Thank you. Welcome back. Sorry, it's took slightly longer than anticipated, but we are back now and we have reached a decision. So just bear with me. I'll read out the decision and the thoughts behind it. So we've considered the application for a variation of an existing premise licence at Pizza King Express Barbecue House, 31B Violet Avenue, Edlington, Doncaster, and I've taken into account the representations made and the evidence presented today, the steps that are appropriate to promote the licensing objectives, the Home Office guidance and our statement of licensing policy, and we've decided to allow the application in the terms set out in pages 18 to 34 of the agenda, together with additional conditions detailed below. Signs will be displayed to remind customers to leave quietly and act in an orderly manner. Customers will be discouraged from congregating outside the premises. No singular alcoholic drinks, including beer, lager or cider in cans, will be sold. A minimum purchase of 4 will be required. No beers, lagers or cider of 6.5% ABV and above to be sold at these premises. All people involved in the delivery of alcohol shall at the point of delivery be satisfied that the person to whom the alcohol is being delivered is 18 years and over by using the Challenge 24 system. If challenged and photographic age verification documents cannot be produced, the delivery shall be refused and the alcohol returned to the licensed premises. No wines or spirits of 20% ABV and above to be sold at the premises. No cash sales of items for delivery to take place after 11:45 p.m. The committee noted that the applicant already has a licence to sell late night refreshments, so the premises are not new. He will employ 4 local people, 4 delivery drivers and 2 kitchen staff. There have been no representations from responsible authorities, which would be expected if there were problems related to the premises. Those making representations, including a business owner of a premise adjacent to these premises and someone who is believed to be employed at the other business. I've read that slightly wrong, but you get the gist of that. The committee were reminded that the business impact is not a relevant consideration. Those who made representations against the application did not attend, but their representations were still considered by the committee. The committee was satisfied that the application and the added conditions promoted the licence objectives. So that is our decision. So I will now draw the meeting to a close and thank everybody for their attendance. Thank you.